So welcome back. I'd like to continue speaking about Chapter 4 of Healing America's Narratives, and that's a chapter that deals with Native American history. I'm going to read a little bit to you from the book here. We're going to fast forward to the current century, 21st century, in the year 2009. In April of that year, both houses of Congress agreed on Senate Joint Resolution 14, which was a resolution to, quote, acknowledge a long history of official depredations and ill-conceived policies by the federal government regarding Indian tribes and offer an apology to all Native peoples on behalf of the United States. It was just over 1,000 words long. I'm going to acknowledge some of the serious transgressions, such as the 1830 Indian Removal Act, quote, many treaty violations, unlawful acquisition of recognized tribal land, the Sand Creek Massacre, and the forcible removal of Native American children from their families. They also used some really embarrassing euphemisms, such as, quote, the arrival of Europeans in North America opened a new chapter in the history of Native peoples, unquote. So again, an attempt to move in a healthy direction, but by the time this Senate Joint Resolution 14 was signed into law on December 19th, 2009 by President Obama. Again, both houses agreed, Republicans and Democrats agreed with this. The House had added it to House Resolution 3326, which became Public Law 111-118, more commonly known as the Department of Defense Appropriations Act of 2010. All of the context setting whereases, the reasons for the apology that were in the original resolution were gone. And what we were left with was a 270-word section 8113 on page 45 of a 67-page law, immediately below section 8112's provision that, quote, up to $15 million shall be available for the purpose of high priority National Guard counter-drug programs. There was no publicity around the apology and no real ceremony around it anyway. So even this well-intentioned move ended up being cut by 3/4 in length, approximately, ended up being stuck into the last third or so of a Defense Department appropriations bill. And it seemed like a kind of consistent trajectory, considering the history between the United States federal government and Native Americans, that in fact the apology and acknowledgement would kind of get buried and lost in a moderately disrespectful way as well. All right, so thank you again for listening. Don't be depressed. We'll continue to fight our way through American Shadow and get to some bright light somewhere down the road. Thanks again.